Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang, and we're going to talk about the question of what is America's goals for American entertainment, and what should they be? All right. So this is a big topic for me. I've talked about this before, and we're going to talk about it again today because I think it's absolutely critical from the perspective of there's a really critical new milestone that has just been reached in American entertainment specifically, and it opens this question again. I'm really excited about this topic because of Andrew Yang. So, of course, my vote is going to Andrew Yang. I'm incredibly excited about him. We're going to be able to see, today, of course, is February 3rd, and we're going to see the Iowa caucus today. The primaries and the caucuses are kicking off today, and that's exciting. We are truly on the path to November the 2nd, the day when we will make Andrew Yang our next president, and I'm incredibly excited about that. One of the reasons why I'm excited about this is Andrew Yang's presidency is going to be incredibly historic and innovative and fresh and new and truly a modern Camelot. It brings up so many wonderful, delightful, just really amazing opportunities, and this is one of them. Okay, so Andrew Yang comes in, okay, he's one of the things is he's not a traditional politician. He doesn't come in with decades of owed favors. That's massive. That's a really big deal because he comes in, fresh without, all those traditional favors that are owed by so many politicians from, 1, 2, 3 decades of promise making and and lobbyists, shaking hands and all those kind of things. So he comes in fresh, and so that's going to leave room for a lot of things that would never even be discussed. The people who would be connected to these ideas would philosophers, innovationists, just pure thought maker, thinkers, really. I really feel we'll have a seat at the table in Andrew Yang's administration. We'll be able to get access to Andrew Yang because they're not going to have to come through the normal politician gauntlet of did you give millions? Did you have I been connected to you for 20 or 30 years? And I think that's really fresh and that's new. Now the reality is Andrew Yang is doing fundraisers right now, and of course, from that perspective, he has entered into the politician world, but it's not as entrenched, and there's far more room for innovation and these fresh new ideas. So this is a J. Scott Garibay idea. I don't hear anybody on the internet talking about this. But the reason why I'm talking about it is I think it's incredibly important to our American culture and our American society. It is massively important. And I really want to talk this through. Okay. So here's the new milestone that has reopened this discussion. So it is my opinion that it is critical that even now, as Andrew Yang is surging forward toward the White House and trying to obtain that seat, he and his team should be thinking about what are America's goals with American entertainment, okay? With that industry specifically. Now I'm going to set the frame for this question at the level of Hollywood. Now when we talk about Hollywood, we're talking about the movie industry and the television industry. That's Hollywood, okay? And it's a big broad brush, but that's what I'm talking about when I say entertainment. I understand I'm not talking about video games, I'm not talking about books. We're just setting the frame here at Hollywood movies, Hollywood television, okay? All right, and so with that, that's what I'm speaking of at the level, okay? And here's why. So we've talked before about movies. They've done so well. They're such a huge industry, and they're really a huge American asset. They carry American messages all over the world. They carry American cool all over the world. They up our status all over the world. They carry our fashions all over the world. They carry our language all over the world. They carry our ideas all over the world. They carry our sentiment all over the world. And they are a massive industry. In 2019, there were 8 plus $1 billion plus movies. There was more than one. I think there was more than one $2 billion movie. There was just a ton of massively successful films, okay? that none of that's new. What's new is a new report just came out this week from the FX network. They follow cable because they compete in cable, and so they're tracking their competitors and they're tracking the market. So FX came out with a new report this week that stated there are now, this is the first time in history, there are 500 plus, there are more than 500 American television scripted series. That is incredible. A scripted series has a script. It's written, it has a story. This is a detective story, a space marine story, a fantasy story. These are stories that are told in a series. There are 500 plus American television series. That is incredible. And that shows that we have entertainment in America at a scale that is absolutely massive. It is really unprecedented. It is fully unprecedented. No country in the world has ever done this. We're the only country to create 500 plus scripted television shows. No one has done this. It is truly, truly, truly incredible. At the scale we have. Maybe a few have, but nobody watched them, right? So this is really something, and you're talking multi-billion dollar industry. And from that perspective, that's why I say America needs to know what its goals are with American entertainment. I hear you. You're like, wait, Scott, we don't need the government jumping in on that business and jumping in on that industry and interfering. Why does the government need to be involved in entertainment? Wake up. They need to be very involved in that industry. And the reason why is, one, that industry is incredibly involved in politics. Pay attention. All you need to do is just tune into the Oscars or the Golden Globes or any award or word, and you won't be able to go 5 minutes without hearing Hollywood tell the government and politicians exactly what they want. So why on earth shouldn't the government and the politicians be telling artists and directors and writers exactly what it wants from them, right? The other thing is, you think you don't want government involvement in entertainment. You do, and here's why. So one, entertainment is just an industry, okay? We want government entertainment in all kinds of industries. I'm going to give you an example. We want them in the food industry, right? And you're like, well, do we? Yes, we do, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Would you get upset if somebody says, hey, this food is organic, and yet parts of it are synthetic, and it uses all kinds of chemicals and dyes, and actually they're just slapping organic on at the end? That would upset you, right? And the government gets involved and makes sure that there are meanings attached to words when it comes to food. And it turns out that when you have a market and you want certain regulations to be made, right? You desperately want the government involved in your food industry. So why is entertainment different, right? But all kinds of Americans seem to think that entertainment is some special area where the government shouldn't be involved. It absolutely should be involved. And here's the point. Hollywood's gotten away with this for a long, long time, and that time needs to end right quick. And the reason why is the scale. This is a massive asset of the United States of America. We don't let any other product go like this. Steel, we put tariffs on that stuff. We watch how other countries compete with us. The back and forth, the trades. There are politicians, there are entire bureaus that are set up to make sure that these rates are set correctly and that the regulation is set correctly. And yet we let entertainment just run off willy-nilly with no American goals attached to that industry. And we've reached a point where this has become a massive problem. And we really need Andrew Yang to be the first kind of leader who can just take 5 minutes and sit down and think about this problem. And it'll be incredibly clear that entertainment is the new true American steel. It's the new true American export of importance. And that's why I'm excited about Andrew Yang, is he can see problems like this, where the vast majority of Americans are oblivious to this issue. And it is a huge issue. We are losing ground in entertainment. We do not have goals with American entertainment, and we are losing We are losing the ability to move forward as a nation because we're not leveraging this incredible asset we have. We care deeply about how much steel we produce, and yet we don't really care about what movies go in and out the door, what messages are carried in those films, where they go and where they don't go, how frequently they're distributed, how they're distributed. These are important questions. Okay, I'll give you another industry example. Energy, right? Everybody's like, oh, those companies that only do fossil fuel, how terrible! If only the government could step in and encourage them through tax policy and law to broaden what energies they produce and what energies they research. Oh, so fossil fuel, so energy, you want the government all up in that industry, right? But entertainment just gets a free ticket. And government's supposed to be hands off, and we're not supposed to have any goals attached to that industry. It makes no sense. It's a lacuna in our productivity. It's a lacuna in how we're moving things forward. And then another one is pharma. Right, so you have pharma. People get incredibly upset when there is one specific pharmaceutical product, which might be needed by a group who have a specific sickness or some type of malady, and it's only name brand and exclusive, and the company puts it at a very high rate, and there's no generic available, and because it's copyright, because it's patented, nobody can make a competitor product. Immediately, all kinds of Americans come out of the work and are like, oh, we need government involvement here. We need to set goals, right? Every single one of these. Pharma. We need good medicine created by multiple companies with fair prices for lots of Americans. That's a goal. Energy. American goals have been set. We want companies researching traditional fuel sources and new green fuel sources, both. That's an American goal. Food. We want the food to be clean. We want there to be lots of variety. We want the prices to be fair. We don't want monopolies. Lots of goals. What are America's goals for entertainment? We have 500 scripted television series. This is an absolutely massive industry. And yet it's not clear what America's goals are for this industry. And it's absurd. I am so frustrated over the last 4 years of hearing all this nonsense talked about American steel, which matters not one whit. And the entertainment industry is completely ignored by our government. It's incredible to me. And so the reality is, American entertainment is outrageously powerful. Outrageously powerful. And right now the government is completely hands off. There should be regulation of the entertainment industry, and there should be guidance from the U.S. government. It should be carefully administrated. There should be wisdom attached to it. Who's the kind of person who has wisdom and is a careful person? Andrew Yang. There you go. And it's exactly this type of change, this innovative, smart, useful change that wouldn't even get consideration under any other administration, where I know for a fact, you know what? I don't need Andrew Yang to take my idea and implement it, but I do need to know that if anyone comes to him, myself or any other American, through a good, useful channel and says, this is a good idea, this is good for our company, and I want you to give it some thought, and I want you to consider, is this the best path for our country? That not only will he give a fair amount of time and thought to that idea, right? But he is free of the regressiveness that would stop an innovative idea from being considered. I'm not here so that Andrew Yang is going to, put in every idea that I've ever had. I'm here because I believe that Andrew Yang believes in ideas and is willing to think them through and actually sit down and shut his mouth for a minute and listen to people who are smarter than him. There's a few of them, not many, but there are a few of them. And I'm really excited that he's the type of leader who can listen and listen to incredibly innovative ideas and give it true thought, and then apply actual wisdom that comes from his own experience, and will give it a fair shot out of his own personal nobility. That is an incredibly bright, exciting future for me. I am very, very excited about that. And I really hope Andrew Yang really does consider putting more regulation and more guidance from the U.S. government onto American entertainment, specifically to set goals for American education. We have American goals for every industry, and for education, for American entertainment, and yet for education, it's an industry we have very specific goals for, right? But for entertainment, we don't seem to have any specific American goals, and we really need these American goals for American entertainment because it's such a powerful, such a massive industry. All that is my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think? Do you think America should have goals for entertainment? What should those goals be? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful Iowa Caucus Day, and thank you very much for letting me share these ideas with you today, and have a wonderful millennium.